there, good afternoon. You're watching ABC News. This is ABC Midday, and I am Peggy Inyakwabano. Coming up in the next hour, Asante Henyo Otumfuo Osei Tutu II is expected to submit a detailed report on the Boko peace mediation to President John Dramani Mahama today, December 16, as part of ongoing efforts to secure lasting stability in the area. Breaking news coming in is that the Supreme Court has directed the Electoral Commission to suspend all proceedings and activities leading to the conduct of the Pandai parliamentary rerun pending the final determination of a case before the court. Still to come, coalition of unpaid nurses and midwives has threatened to embark on a nationwide strike over delays in the payment of their 11-month arrears. In business, prices of petroleum products are expected to decline marginally at the pumps from today, December 16. On the international front, at least 9 African migrants died after being exposed to freezing conditions near Morocco's border with Algeria. Stay with us, we have details of these and more coming up shortly. You're watching ABC Midday News here on ABC News Ghana Television. We're streaming live on Facebook at ABC News GH_. Now to our stories. The Asante Henyo Otumfuo Osei Tutu II is expected to submit a detailed report on the Boko peace mediation to President John Dramani Mahama today, December 16, as part of ongoing efforts to secure lasting stability in the area. Otumfuo was appointed earlier in 2025 by President Mahama to spearhead mediation aimed at resolving the long-running chieftaincy conflict that has plagued the Boko municipality for decades. The mediation process commenced in April, with the Asante Henyo holding separate consultations with leaders and representatives of the rival factions to lay the groundwork for dialogue and confidence building. Although the talks experienced a brief pause, they resumed in May 2025 and have since helped to ease tensions, contributing to a period of relative calm in the previously volatile area. The report to be presented to the President is expected to highlight progress made so far, outline key challenges, and offer recommendations to guide the next phase of government intervention towards achieving sustainable peace in Boko. Meanwhile, the Ghana Armed Forces say security presence in the area has been reinforced to maintain law and order as mediation efforts continue. Meanwhile, security expert Richard Kumado has urged the feuding factions in Boko to place national interest, development, and the welfare of residents above entrenched positions as President John Dramani Mahama receives the mediation report from Otumfuo Osei Tutu II. Speaking on ABC in the morning, Mr. Kumado stressed that the Asante Henyo's report presents a critical opportunity for all parties to reset the peace process and commit genuinely to reconciliation after decades of violence and instability in the area. He noted that sustained conflict has deprived Boko of development, disrupted livelihoods, and endangered innocent lives, arguing that neither faction stand to gain from a return to hostilities.
It's on your show. You are talking about chieftaincy. You remember the last time we spoke about it and I said it was chieftaincy? There was a professor you brought on the show who nearly beat me up. You remember?
Yes, Richard.
Today you are the one talking about chieftaincy. Me, I don't know the chieftaincy. I think Asante King Solomon has looked at the issues, has dealt with the issues, has considered the issues, and they have come to some level of conclusion. What will make development come to Boko is when we are living at peace with one another. What will bring development to Boko is when we stop killing one another and we stop distracting many of the things we have established, so that indigenous and visitors and outsiders and everybody will share their personal and collective responsibilities by building up Boko. Then it becomes vibrant again, considering the proximity of Boko Brinduri enclave to Burkina Faso, down to Pusika to Togo. It's an enclave that used to be very vibrant. So if you take we human beings, Ghanaians and non-Ghanaians, friends and loved ones, colleagues, to be able to build it again, we can only build it when we have peace and security and safety can be guaranteed. And that is why Ashanti said, no matter whatever will be written in this particular report, let's learn to live among ourselves and live at peace with one another.
In related issues, that Santahino Tumfo Osei-Tutu II on Monday chastised the Bono regional minister for using his political position to meddle in the Sampa chieftaincy affairs. He spoke at the last Asante-Man Council meeting of the year 2025 at the Menchia Palace in Kumasi. The Santahene said the Bono regional minister, as a lawyer, has an interest in the Sampa chieftaincy issues, and therefore he, as Asantehene, will not allow him to use his political position to meddle in the chieftaincy affairs.
Baby, so any some name will be this when you to me some politics and to the house to the amusement.
Or if you want to any some now be some among some unity when to me also the high some of the every day on my quanta. This is what this will be.
That's say Sampa, you carry want you a hawk. I said that I said, and what you the security, some regional minister or what lawyer was him. The regional minister did what they are cutting and in all years.
So some by a cousin of me, I don't can't be said the night, some of the home some with the house of heavy beer. Some minister, we don't know. No, yes, some lawyer was him. To a minister. I just said that say a whole room, somebody say. That's what said because not the piano, we don't need to listen.
I tried to talk about them the room. I said, what the assembly answer you.
Young, so don't let the call them say. Some security, some honey. So I said, yeah,
and I had to need now make come once a month.
So now, they become once a so we get me near this.
When you debrand and from MST in the past.
Simple debrand in fear now, what is this? But young.
I ever any account.
So never heard. So we will some back. Then they are no, we are training.
They are come over here, Merenius.
So now, the problem is say, you don't know soon. If you are not going to know you try, so you know what you're better than the crack, you are never cold.
Jamming to the catch you, Mansan, and sorry. President to me, and a dear woman. Young, Pepper best she near the account.
If it's a person of the moment, the sorry, I don't say, I don't know, go to council. And the beer, home. Now, if you soon have a pack, now, so the baby can fall for that. Maybe you will be out of the purpose and the fantasy.
Away from that, the Supreme Court has directed all Electoral Commission to suspend all proceedings and activities leading to the conduct of the Pandai parliamentary rerun, pending the final determination of a case before the court. The directive effectively puts on hold preparations by the EC for the rerun election until the legal issues surrounding the matter are fully resolved. When the case was called on Tuesday, the Apex Court adjourned proceedings to January 13, 2026 to allow for further consideration of the issues raised by the parties. The Pandai rerun has been the subject of legal contestation following disputes arising from the parliamentary election, prompting the intervention of the Supreme Court. Until the court delivers its final ruling, the EC is barred from taking any steps forward organizing or conducting the rerun in the constituency. The decision is expected to have significant implications for the electoral calendar in the Pandai constituency, as stakeholders await the court's determination early next year. Joining us on the line is constitutional lawyer Kwame Adolfo to have further conversations on this. Good afternoon, sir, and welcome to ABC Midday News.
Thank you for having me.
Right. Now, the Supreme Court has ordered the Electoral Commission to halt all activities with regards to the Pandai rerun, which was supposed to take place on December 30. What are your thoughts on this?
Look, I think it's interesting in the sense that once the Supreme Court speaks, everybody complies or has to comply. Now, the Supreme Court has told the EC, from the reports coming, it appears that it's told the EC to hold off, meaning it's more like an injunction. So if that is correct, then it means that the EC cannot go ahead with organizing the elections. Again, it therefore means that there is an injunction on the letter itself, which precipitated the EC setting a date for injunction for the elections. It also means that the member of parliament could remain in parliament. I use the word could because I haven't seen the actual ruling and I haven't seen the terms that were used in the ruling. So that's why I'm using the word could, meaning he still remains a member of parliament pending the final determination of the case that is pending before the Supreme Court.
All right. So, Lawyer Adolfo, what does this mean for the seat that has been declared vacant in Parliament? You mentioned that it means that the candidates could return. What does this mean for the seat?
Well, it means, you see, the Constitution makes it clear that it's only the High Court that can declare a seat vacant. And after the High Court has made a decision or declared a seat vacant, that is communicated to Parliament, and Parliament will then write a letter to the Electoral Commission. However, when that decision or judgment is under appeal and subsequently before the Supreme Court, you cannot say that decision of the High Court is final until the Supreme Court has had a say. So it means we are reversing back to the status quo, meaning where we were before the High Court made a decision. Until the Supreme Court decides that the High Court decision was correct or was wrong. So it means technically we are before the time that the seat was declared vacant, which also means that the Member of Parliament for Pandai is entitled to go to the Parliament as an elected Member of Parliament for Pandai.
So now, what happens to the declaration the Speaker made?
You see, it means, look, once the declaration that was made by the Speaker is based on the declaration that was made by the High Court. And once the High Court decision is now on hold, then it means that declaration by the Speaker cannot continue to exist, because it's more like consequential declaration by the Speaker as a result of the declaration of the High Court. So if that declaration of the High Court is now on hold, it means anything down the chain has to hold,
including the suit against the Clerk of Parliament.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Including the suit against the Clerk of Parliament.
Well, the suit against the Clerk of Parliament is his lack of compliance with processes that have been served on him.
Okay.
Now that the Supreme Court says hold off, everything stays. So I don't think the person who sought to cite the Clerk of Parliament contempt is interested in any other thing other than hold the Electoral Commission's proceedings, or sorry, let me say it again. Their only interest is that the Electoral Commission doesn't go ahead with conducting the elections. And if that is achieved, I don't think the Member of Parliament for Panda will be interested in going after the Clerk of Parliament for anything. At the end of the day, his main concern was to make sure that no elections are held until his legal processes has been exhausted. And now that it's been partially granted to him, I don't think he will go ahead with the contempt proceedings that he has filed against the Clerk of Parliament.
All right. Now, therefore, does this ruling means Parliament rushed in making the decision to declare the seat vacant, or is it just two different powers executing their duties?
No, in terms of when a seat becomes vacant, the Constitution is absolutely clear. It's within the mandate of the court, and that is the High Court. And once the High Court makes a decision, it is only when after the High Court has made a decision that the Parliament will have a say. Now, there has been another previous cases that said that is not a matter for Parliament to declare a seat vacant. There was a previous case like that. And the courts are absolutely clear that it's up to the High Court. And once the High Court has made a judgment, which is under appeal, and subsequently before the Supreme Court, then the Clerk of the Parliament or Speaker doesn't have jurisdiction, so to speak, to do anything until the appeal process has now been exhausted. Now, we now know that the Supreme Court has now halted the elections, which therefore means that any declaration so made by Parliament is of no effect, because if the EC were to go ahead and follow the declaration made by the Speaker through the clerk, it means it will be in contempt, which is not possible anyway, because once the Supreme Court speaks, that is it. So it means at the moment you can be absolutely convinced that before the date in January that has been set by the Supreme Court, nothing whatsoever can be done about that seat.
All right. Now, finally, therefore, the case has been adjourned to January 13, 2026. Do you see the candidate for the MP, Matthew Nyindam, returning to Parliament, or Parliament inviting him within this period?
Yes.
Okay.
The answer is yes. The reason being that if the Supreme Court says wait, then it means the seat cannot be left redundant, where nobody is actually representing the people of Pandai.
All right. So is Parliament supposed to write to him?
I don't know the procedure, but ordinarily they are also living in Ghana. They know the process. So I don't know the procedure, but I know that if it's going to take another 3-4 months, are we saying that people of Pandai are not going to be represented in Parliament simply because the case is pending in the Supreme Court? No, I think the seat does not belong to Parliament. The seat belongs, and there's a authority on this, that the seat belongs to the people of Pandai. So while the Electoral Commission is not ready to conduct a new election because the Supreme Court has not given him or them the chance to do it, the people of Pandai will still have to be represented by their last elected member of Pandai. And that is what we all expect to happen.
All right. Thank you for your time this afternoon, sir.
You are always welcome.
That was constitutional lawyer Kwame Adofo. We are still trying to establish contact with the two parties involved, mainly the NPP and the NDC, to have further conversations on this. So stay tuned to ABC News Ghana Television for more news on this development. But moving on, the National Service Authority has revealed that its recent internal investigations uncovered irregularities in the system, resulting in the flagging of 8,105 personnel on the National Service payroll. According to the authority, 1,840 of these individuals have been temporarily suspended pending the outcome of investigations by relevant investigative bodies. Speaking at a press briefing on Monday, December 15, the Director General of the authority, Ruth Della Sedo, explained that the irregularities were identified in 3 tertiary institutions: the University of Development Studies, Ghana Communication Technology University, and Akenton Apia Menka University of Skills, Training and Entrepreneurial Development.
The number of students who have officially graduated from the school, and we compared that with the number of students that they have submitted to us. And so when you do that, you realize that some schools are complicit in this whole thing, and I must emphasize that it is a whole huge cartel. Due to the outcome of our very detailed, thorough and comprehensive investigation, we made shocking discoveries that resulted in the flagging of 8,105 individuals in the system. Let me repeat. We made a shocking discovery that resulted in flagging 8,105 individuals in the system, and 1,840 individuals have been completely suspended, pending conclusion of further investigations by the security agencies. The investigations uncovered a number of serious irregularities being perpetrated in 3 tertiary institutions: University of Development Studies, UDS, Ghana Communications Technology University, Akenton Apia Menka University of Skills, Training and Entrepreneurial Development. The outcome of the investigation: 10 members of staff from the various institutions have been arrested and are under investigations with the security agencies.
Away from that, President John Dramani Mahama has described the chieftaincy title conferred on him in Nigeria as a symbol of the deep historical and cultural ties between Ghanaians and Nigerians, saying the honor will strengthen relations between the two countries. He made the remarks after being installed the Are Atayeto Odua of the source by the Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwusi, at a ceremony at the Oni's Palace in Ile-Ife, Osun State, on Monday, December 15. Speaking at the event, President Mahama said he received the title with humility, noting the long-standing relationship between the people of Ghana and Nigeria.
I know that there's a historic bond between the people of Ghana and the people of Nigeria. When Nigeria prospers, Ghana prospers. When Ghana prospers, Nigeria prospers. God brought 2 of us together. We are like twins of the same mother, except when we are playing football and then when we are cooking jollof. But I want to say this chieftaincy title, I receive it on behalf of all the people of Ghana. It will further cement the relationship between us. And as Oni said, my stepmother of blessed memory, I received this chieftaincy title on her behalf. Hajia Nusrat Balogun at a point in time when my father had to come into exile. I had just finished university, and it was decided that one of us should come and stay with him. And so I was dispatched to come and keep him company. And so for several years I lived in Nigeria. I was in Lagos, I was in Offa, and I was even in Kano with our late brother Sharaf Balogun. May he rest in peace. And I was received very warmly, like family. You couldn't tell that I was not originally born here.
Meanwhile, President John Dramani Mahama has called for renewed diplomatic engagement between the economic community of West African states and the Sahel countries that have recently withdrawn from the regional bloc, urging leaders to prioritize dialogue and unity over isolation. Speaking in Ife State, Nigeria on Monday, December 15, President Mahama said the West African sub-region is facing significant security and political challenges, particularly in the Sahel, and stressed that these developments should not weaken the collective resolve of ECOWAS.
We all know what is happening in the Sahel. 3 of our members have decided to break away and form the AES. I believe that it shouldn't deter us because God put us in this sub-region together for a purpose. And so I believe that instead of ostracizing them, we must work to continue to build a bridge between ECOWAS and our brothers in the Sahel. Because our destinies are tied together. In Ghana, they say if there's fire burning in your neighbor's house, take water and go and help him to quench the fire. Because when he finishes burning his house, it will spread into your house. And so we must continue to build bridges with our brothers in the AES countries and continue to encourage them to come back into the fold. I want to thank President Tinubu for the friendship that we share. I've known President Tinubu for many years. He's been like an elder brother to me. And he's been a source of inspiration. Even when times were hard and I was in opposition, he never broke his friendship with me. And so on this occasion, I want to thank him and also dedicate this conferment of chieftaincy to him. And so let me thank everybody. Like I said, time is fast spent.
Away from that, the office of the former president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has issued a strong rejoinder dismissing media reports suggesting that he's seeking the intervention of President John Dramani Mahama to facilitate the return of former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. In a statement dated December 16, 2025, the office described the publication, originally carried by the Herald newspaper and amplified by other media outlets, as utterly false and a total fabrication. The report had alleged that former President Akufo-Addo was considering approaching President Mahama to seek assurances of safe passage for Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta. However, the office categorically rejected the claim, stating that the former president has neither contemplated such action nor made any direct or indirect request or representation to the president, his agents, or assigns. The statement further emphasized Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's long-standing commitment to democratic principles and the rule of law, stressing that his fidelity to legal processes has never been in question, while acknowledging that Mr. Ofori-Atta's situation remains a matter of concern to the former president, particularly given their familial ties and Ofori-Atta's role as finance minister during Akufo-Addo's tenure. The office clarified that such concern does not extend to interfering with judicial or legal processes. The office also demanded that media houses that carried the alleged false publication reproduce a rejoinder in accordance with the former president's rights. We'll take a short break here. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
To do my day jollof.
Oh, Kwame. You know our secret, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, me. I've got it.
Now add your Gino jollof mix.
The perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time. And there you have it, your original Ghana jollof.
Jollof so good.
Jollof so good. Tasty, yeah.
What is going on here?
Enjoy jollof the Ghana way. Gino jollof is made with the perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time.
Jollof so good.
This advert is FDA approved.
Rent back with the Pia Upa. Come on, come see you. Wait, this guy. My friend, see before.
It's the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Win cash daily, weekly, and a grand prize of 1.2 million Ghana cedis. Just reload or buy a bundle with Telecel Cash to earn points and stand a chance to win big. Dial *500# or visit the Telecel Play app to obtain and start winning in the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
When is campaign? If you're a baby, many schedule no. If you know, meto chiaka. Inti ene, uno ba no mpe baby amobeda. Oh, na beka. Ye did too much money. No matter.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Welcome back from the break. This is still ABC Midday News live on ABC News Ghana Television. We're streaming live on Facebook at ABC News GH_. Now, in more news, members of the coalition of unpaid nurses and midwives have raised serious concerns over delays in the payment of their 11-month arrears, warning that they may be forced to lay down their tools if the government fails to address their grievances. The coalition, which represents over 6,000 members nationwide, revealed that some members have received only 1 month's payment, while about 300 have yet to receive a single month's salary since they began work in December 2024. The members expressed frustration over the daily hardships caused by the delayed payments, describing the government's handling of the matter as deceptive. They said the Ministry of Health had previously assured them that a payment plan would be released following the settlement of the November salary.
300 of our members did not receive even the 1 month salary, and their fate is not known since the extended financial clearance expires on 31st of December 2025. Even more troubling is the fact that a portion of our colleagues, over 7,000 nurses and midwives who began receiving their salaries in April 2025, have had all their arrears paid in full, whilst the rest of us, totaling 6,261, have been completely abandoned. Some of us were even validated to receive their full arrears in November, but surprisingly, we were paid just a single month's salary. This is deceptive, and this deceptive action gave us nothing but heartbreak and shattered hopes. What crime did we commit by serving Mother Ghana as health professionals? The Ministry of Health promised to release a press statement and to release a payment plan for our arrears by November after payment of the November salary. Today, it has been weeks of complete silence, no roadmap, no timeline, no communication. Instead, what we received is a misleading press release from the ministry claiming that they have paid us when the reality on grounds is just directly the opposite of what the ministry communicated. What we want for now and what we want Ghana to know. Our rent expired this month and many of us are facing eviction. We go to work on empty stomach, unable to afford basic meals, let alone balanced diet. We work.
Now let's engage Stephen Kwejo Tichia, the convener of the Coalition of Unpaid Nurses and Midwives Ghana. Good afternoon, sir, and welcome to ABC Midday News. Hello, sir. Hello.
Hello, madam.
Right. Good afternoon, and welcome to ABC Midday News.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity.
Right. Now, you are threatening a strike action over unpaid arrears. Can you clearly outline the current payment situation for your members?
Thank you very much. Let me say a very good afternoon to the cherished viewers of ABC News this afternoon. So we, the Coalition of Unpaid Nurses and Midwives Ghana, represent over 6,000 nurses and midwives across Ghana. We were recruited and we started working. Some started in December of 2024, whilst most of them started in January of 2025. In total, we were 13,500 nurses and midwives. But somewhere in April this year, about 7,000 of our members were enrolled on the payroll and they started receiving their salaries. And as at now, they've received all their arrears, so the government doesn't want them a dime. But the remaining, who are a little over 6,000, were sidelined until in October when we embarked on a demonstration. The ministry had a press engagement where we were invited and we were informed that Cabinet has asked them to pay us. And with that, they are going to release the funds. They will pay us 1 month's salary in November. But before then, they will bring a clear payment plan as to how they are going to clear the accumulated arrears. And they did, as they said, in November, we were enrolled onto the payroll, with the exception of a few of our colleagues who are still not enrolled on the payroll. And we are hoping that is rectified. But since then, the promise that the ministry gave that they are going to bring the payment plan for the arrears, the ministry has been silent on that. And some few weeks, or let me say a few days ago, the ministry released a press statement which indicated that all the nurses and midwives have been paid, which was contrary to the reality on ground. So we had to release a statement to counter that. And that is the main reason we had to organize this press conference, to make the good people of Ghana put it on records that should, in case the government fails to pay our accumulated arrears, sometime in the future, we can reference that the government employed nurses and midwives who worked for a whole year without them being paid by the government, because the situation is very unbearable. The year is ending. We are almost 1 year into service. Those who travel to rent, rooms at various places have their rent expiring. Landlords are cautioning them of eviction. So we need the government to take quick action and make payment of the arrears this December 2025.
Mr. Tachia, you've warned of a possible strike action. What conditions or timelines would convince the coalition to suspend such action, and what is your immediate demand from the government?
Thank you. So at the moment, we need payment of the arrears from the government. And should that not happen, we are in talks with our mother unions, Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, and the Union of Professional Nurses and Midwives. So the union have assured us they will speak with the ministry as well to make sure the needful is done. But if by the end of December we get nothing of the arrears and we get no positive feedback on that, then when we enter the new year in late January, we will meet with these, our mother unions, and take a decisive action. When we arrive on a conclusion as to the action we are going to take, we will make it known to the public.
Thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
That was Stephen Kwejo Techia, the convener of the Coalition of Unpaid Nurses and Midwives Ghana. This is still ABC Midday News. Up next is business.
Who is going to do my day jollof?
Oh, Kwame. You know our secret, right?
Yeah.
Efia.
Yes, me. I've got it.
Now add your Chino jollof mix.
The perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time. And there you have it, your original Ghana jollof.
Jollof so cool.
Jollof so cool. Tasty, yeah.
What is going on here?
Enjoy jollof the Ghana way. Gino jollof is made with the perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time.
This advert is FDA approved.
In the world of business, prices of petroleum products are expected to decline marginally at the pumps from today, December 16. The projection is contained in the latest outlook report by the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, which guides pricing decisions by oil marketing companies. The price of petrol is expected to fall between 1.64% and 3.89%, bringing the pump price per litre to about 12.90 Ghana cedis. According to the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, the expected reduction has been influenced mainly by declining prices of finished petroleum products on the international market. The report noted that despite the marginal increase in crude oil prices, major petroleum products recorded price declines due to global oversupply. However, depreciated marginally from 11.14 to 11.43 Ghana cedis over the period. The chamber explained that the price drop also aligns with seasonal festive expectations and demand pressures. It added that limited foreign exchange support restrained further appreciation of the Ghana cedi during the period. Diesel is projected to decline by as much as 4.59%, which should see a litre selling at around 13.20 Ghana cedis. Liquefied petroleum gas is also expected to drop by up to 2.16%, resulting in a kilogram selling at approximately 14 Ghana cedis. Joining us on Zoom to have further conversations on this is Head of Research at COPEC, Paul Ofori. Good afternoon, Tenny. Welcome to ABC Midday News.
Good afternoon, Peggy, and thanks for having me.
Right. Now, with fuel prices expected to decline in the second half of December, that is starting from today, how significant will this relief be for consumers at the pumps?
Well, we are entering into the Christmas festivities, so it will be welcoming to have consumers get some form of relief, especially when Christmas is just staring at us in the face. So, yes, it is some form of welcoming news. We have seen global oil prices go down favorably, and that is also because of the oversupply of the product on the market. We have seen OPEC nations increase production. Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Russia, all increasing their production. So it is resulting in the oversupply of the product on the international market. Again, you also have trade disruptions here and there, the tariff wars. It's also led to uncertainties in terms of production, i.e. China and then US. So as a result of that, you don't have too much pressure on the product, meaning that demand has slowed down and then you have supply remaining constant. That is what is resulting in what we are seeing. So hopefully it will also translate at the pumps from today, and then consumers can get some form of relief.
In the first pricing window, oil marketing companies kept prices unchanged despite the indicators pointing to possible increases. How sustainable is this approach?
First, we need to commend the oil marketing companies and the BDCs for the good work done so far. I mean, there are times that when we are doing our projections, you input, say, 50 pesos, 1 CD in terms of margins, and you are getting, you are not getting anything close to what is happening at the pump. So, what that means is that the oil marketing companies have been shelving their margins just so they remain competitive and then also give some relief to consumers. So largely they've done a yeoman's job so far, and we are hoping that they will maintain the momentum going into 2026. We are also hopeful that holding all other factors constant, perhaps with TOR coming on stream, with Centio also producing, the importation of the product will reduce, resulting in a much more favorable prices, in country, and also that will result in a lower cost in terms of their administrative and operational expenditure, and that will also translate into consumers getting a lower, prices at the pumps.
Right, Polofori, looking at the trend, looking at how this is going, should we expect further decreases in the coming years and months?
And we also need to commend the Ministry of Finance and then the Bank of Ghana for doing a great job so far, making sure that our CD have been largely stable from the beginning of the year till date. That has also impacted, on the price so far. Going into 2026, it looks positive, even though we are seeing some marginal increases with regards to crude oil price. We are not really seeing that reflect, with the finished product side, and that's also because of the slow in demand of the product. It is envisaged that in 2026 first window, prices will still remain stable, and we are not going to see any form of increases here and there if, and I repeat, if the managers of our economy are able to hold the CD the way it is.
Right. Thank you for your time this afternoon, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Right. That was Polofori, Head of Research at COPEC, and that is all for business news this afternoon. Up next is Sports with James Oheneba Makion.
Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes. He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used, the more money he makes. Oh yes, so what are you waiting for? Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money. Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
Hello there, good afternoon. Welcome to the sports segment on the Midday News. I am Eugene Oforisoti. Let's kick off from the Black Galaxies, who will be taking on a South African Bafana AFCON squad in a friendly. And the Black Galaxies captain Razak Simpson has expressed confidence in the team's readiness ahead of their international friendly against South Africa. The nation's FC skipper, who is also an integral member of Ghana's CHAN squad, believes the encounter will serve as an important test for the team as they continue preparations for upcoming assignments.
South African Football Association all the best in the coming AFCON games, and I would like to thank God also. We the players, is a massive opportunity for us coming to South Africa to play against a wonderful team like South Africa. I think it will open a lot of doors for us, and also senior national teams. All of us want to play them, so it's a big opportunity for us. I think right now in our local dialect we see aggressive form. Like, we believe in what our coaches have taught us. So I think I don't want to comment much about it tomorrow. Yeah, we'll go and play and do our tactics and everything. Yeah. Like we are not putting much pressure on us and everything. We believe in our qualities. We believe in ourselves, and coming tomorrow, everybody will see what Ghana people.
Well, that was Razak Simpson, who is the skipper for the Black Galaxies. Let's head to the head coach, Kasim Mingolo Kansi, who believes Ghana's international friendly against South Africa provides a timely opportunity to assess his team's progress and demonstrate their quality. Speaking ahead of the encounter, Coach Okansi said the match will allow his players to express themselves and prove their readiness, stressing that there is no pressure on the squad going into the game.
Okay, thank you. We arrived in South Africa on Sunday morning, the dawn, and coming here. So we started our training yesterday. We had a rest Sunday evening and start training yesterday morning. And so far, you see our preparation is not bad, and we're going to final our preparation this evening at the venue where we play the match tomorrow. And I know the reason why we were invited to come to this place, because the Bafana are playing their last try match to assess their readiness for the AFCON tournament. And we are also here to give them what they needed. The reason why they invited us, they want to assess the strength and weakness of their team, so that they will be battle ready for the AFCON. And we are also ready to give it to them, whatever they need from us. And it will help also to assess also our team, for the young ones among us to get the international exposure. Oh, yes.
Well, let's head to South Africa, where Hugo Broos's team will open the 2025 AFCON campaign in Morocco against Angola at the Stade de Marrakech on Monday, before taking on Egypt and Zimbabwe in Group B in subsequent group stage games. Ahead of those fixtures, Bafana will face Ghana in the final friendly on Tuesday, though they will still be without key players Lau Foster, Sifelo Sitole and Chandra Campbell. Speaking out of the game, Hugo Broos said his focus is firmly on the Black Stars, stressing that the mentality within the South African camp remains very strong. He added that the team's cohesion and competitiveness will further improve once the full squad assembles for the tournament.
I think that the players also are aware that what the football technical things, that those things need to be better in the next days. But we have still time when we arrive in Morocco, so again, I don't worry. The game of tomorrow is more a training game than a selection game. First of all, I'm happy that we have a game, even it's against a team who is not on his strongest, but we have a team and we have a game, and that is important. So on the other side, I can leave some players out of the team because they have little injuries, and I don't want to take a risk tomorrow to let them play and having a more serious injury and maybe miss the AFCON. So again, there will be other players who we will give the opportunity to play.
Well, that's all the sports for now. I am Eugene Oforisa. Remember that the game will be played at 2 p.m. today. Well, for more sports news, head to ABC News GH/sports. International news is up next.
Midday news here on ABC News Ghana television. On the international front, at least 9 African migrants died after being exposed to freezing conditions near Morocco's border with Algeria in an incident rights groups have described as alarming and a breach of freedom of movement. The Moroccan Association of Human Rights said the victims, 7 men and 2 women, were found in Ras Asfor, a remote mountains area where winter temperatures often drop sharply. The group said the migrants succumbed to extreme cold after becoming severely exhausted. One of the deceased was identified as a Guinean national, while the others were believed to be from different sub-Saharan African countries. Moroccan authorities have not yet provided details on the incident. In other news, South Sudan's authorities have grounded 4 aircrafts linked to the United Nations mission in the country, accusing them of being used for unlawful surveillance and smuggling, claims the UN has firmly rejected. The country's foreign minister, Monday, Semaya Kumba, said a government task force is investigating the planes after intelligence findings flagged potential security risk, noting that 2 of the aircraft were discovered to be fitted with sophisticated surveillance and intelligence gathering equipment. Responding to the allegations, UN mission spokesperson Priyanka Chaudhry said all aircraft operated by the mission are used strictly to carry out its mandate of protecting civilians and promoting lasting peace in South Sudan. That's all for international news. Up next is entertainment news. In entertainment, Ghanaian dancehall artist Shatta Wale has issued a caution to individuals involved in fraudulent activities, urging them to stop flaunting illegal wealth on social media. In a Facebook post, the musician warned, if the money is illegal, be careful, stressing that public display of unexplained riches easily attract the attention of law enforcement agencies. Shatta Wale encouraged those who earn legitimately to freely share their success stories, saying it can inspire others to work hard and stay on the right path. He also used the moment to defend his own source of wealth, insisting it is purely music related. If you make money legally, like Shatta Wale, you shouldn't be afraid to show people the way, he stated, dismissing claims linking him to fraud. That's all for entertainment news, and that's how we wrap up on ABC News Ghana, ABC Midday. here on ABC News Ghana Television. For more news, log on to our website at www.abcnewsgh.com. I am Peggy Nyakwa Bano.